Hey, all right. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? It is the beginning of 2026, and I hope that you are off to a great, powerful start. I know I am, and I know a lot of you are, and I'm getting your testimonies, and I'm loving it every single step of the way. We're really going to be seeing some amazing things happen. I think we're in an amazing time. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
I got my girlfriend out on the limb this morning. It was a suddenly that just happened. Okay.
Yes. I'm
But
like,
all will be
okay.
well. All will be well. Listen, I'm excited you guys are on here today. Thanks so much for jumping on here. I want to encourage you, go ahead and share this feed with somebody that you love, that you know is serious about growth and serious about coming into a winning momentum. You know, all those things are very, very intentional. People don't just wake up and start winning. There's due diligence that has to be done every single day. Like, first of all, you got to have a made up mind that, you know what, God, I thank you for everything that happened in 2025. I thank you for the challenges. I thank you for the victories, but I'm determined that I'm going to become my better self and allow pressure to be placed on my potential, right? Pressure placed on the potential is how you bring profitability. You don't run from pressure. You lean into pressure and allow it to develop you and allow it to grow you. So I'm going to start right now with prayer. As you text somebody, tell them we're live, jump on, because I believe that this conversation is really going to help them. So, Father, we bless you. We thank you. We honor you, God. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your plan for 2026. Talk to us about all of the goals. Talk to us about all of the accomplishments, all of the things that you want us to accomplish and to do and to advance and to increase. I thank you for the strength, the boldness, the courage. I thank you, Lord, for the mental aptitude, the emotional fitness, physical fitness to be able to go the distance and become everything that you called us to become. Now, God, we bless you now. We send the angels of advancement and accumulation and acquisition to go before us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, great. I want to jump right on here. I've got a really good friend of mine, Nicole, my sister, on here. This girl is definitely making moves. If you don't know who she is, I want you to go right now on Instagram and make sure you start following her. She's made some huge strides within the last year, made a lot of changes and pivoted like a lot of people have to do. Like, most people right now are in a position where they absolutely positively need to pivot, right? But there's so much power in the pivot. It can be a little scary. It can be unsettling because we're all creatures of habit. We like to know kind of where we are and where we're going. But I have just learned that many times when God will just throw you out into a situation and you're like, wait, I'm not prepared. I got to make changes. Just like, but I've learned I got to be flexible and I got to grow because God wants to expand my platforms. He wants to expand your platforms. He wants to take you into some areas. And sometimes, Nicole, and I know you're probably like this too. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do it by this time. Give me some time to prepare, right? And preparation is powerful and preparation is good, but there are certain times in your life where God brings you into suddenlies. And suddenlies you were at that boardroom table and suddenly you were called to this meeting and suddenly you were called to that table. And you got to know how to flow and stay flexible and agile because there's some things that won't plan out that God wants to do in your life. And I believe that's what's happening right now. And I know that as Nicole kind of shares where she is and how you guys can connect with her, I believe it's going to resonate with a lot of you because a lot of you are in that position where you're right there at change. And now it's time to make that move. So Nicole, thanks so much, sister, for jumping on here this morning. I want to say I'm very proud of all that you have accomplished. Even before I knew you, I saw you, girl, right? You were making moves. And so when we met, it was just a divine connection. And I knew that the greatness that was growing in her was the greatness that was growing in me. And so it was just an automatic connection. She's a lover of God, a lover of human beings, a lover of our people, and really wanting to see people thrust and win in new levels. And she's put together a powerful networking community. I'm telling you what, her networking community is super strong, and they're making moves to help people move into profit. So Nicole, thanks for joining us, girl. And just kind of share with us kind of about 2025. I know you have some slides that you want to share, but I want the audience to kind of know just how heavy you really are, because the girl is carrying some weight. Okay. So just talk about some of the things that you've done last year.
Yeah, so quick question, Jules, just so that I know, it says stream this to my audience, but when I did that, it kicked me out of this. So I don't know who my audience is, or do I just leave that alone?
Okay, so yeah, you should be able, and let me stop
Because
this.
it looks like it's only the two of us in here right now, I believe, but I don't know. It says
Oh no, there's more people. Yeah, there's more people on here. I see them.
oh, okay.
I see them in the comments and everything.
I don't see any of that. Okay, maybe it's just me. Okay,
Okay.
I see people in here. Okay. All right. So I have a slide in here to tell who I am, so I could just get to that, Jewel, or I can.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do is I'm clicking share screen.
Okay. So I can just hit present. Is that where I hit on my thing?
Yep. Hit present. Yep. There you go.
Okay. It says present, share screen. All right. Let's see how this is working. Window, entire screen. Maybe this one. Share. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? I'm going to move this out. You're going to have to read me the chat things, Jewel, because I won't be able to really see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But you guys can see my screen. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Looks good. The corporate pivot from paycheck to purpose, honey.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have a whole slide on here, y'all, about who I am. So I'll get into that. But I just wanted to say I was on Wall Street for 21 years, everybody. 21 years in various roles. And in July, God called me to be a full-time entrepreneur, which I was like, wait, what? And that's what Jewel was kind of touching on. And so I wanted to tell people over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs since 2025. Since the beginning of 2025, 300 Black women have lost their jobs. And I'm included in that number because I went on to do something else after being on Wall Street for 21 years. So I made this deck to tell everybody, you're going to be okay. It may seem scary. It may seem like, oh my God, what's happening? But you are going to be okay. Me going from a full-time, high salary, high performing job to going full-time into entrepreneurship, where I'm like, wait, I've never been an entrepreneur. How does this work? I realized I'm going to be okay. God has a bigger call on my life. So I wanted to put a slide together to tell you guys the steps that I took to become a full-time entrepreneur in less than a year. All right. So they're talking about the corporate pivot from paycheck to purpose, identifying your purpose. This is going to be fun and informative and interactive. So please ask questions and participate along the way. So this is a slide about me. This is who I am. So I am from New Jersey, born in Newark, New Jersey specifically. Grew up there in various areas, Newark, East Orange, Irvington, Vauxhall, inside New Jersey. And then I went to Virginia Union for college, which is in Richmond, Virginia. From there, I also obtained my master's degree. So I have an MBA in business. I spent 21 years on Wall Street as a Wall Street executive. I started off in middle office trade support for equity trading desk. I also went on to learn bonds and then options. And and then my last role for the last 5 years of my 21 careers in Wall Street, I was head of national sponsorships at JP Morgan Chase. So I've been in banking my whole career, 4 years at Wachovia Securities and 17 years at JP Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the world and the number one.
Wow.
Thank you. I'm also the author of The Master Connector, the ultimate guide to building impactful business for life and business success. I have the book over here, but I don't want to get up. I don't want to interrupt you guys, but I became an author. I've traveled to over 40 countries, 46 to be exact. It's funny because Julie and I were both, I was going to Tokyo in Asia and she was going to Italy. That's my travel sister. So been to over 40 countries, every continent except Antarctica in all 50 states. So your girl loves traveling. Mm-hmm. I became the CEO of the Master Connector in October of 2024. And I love helping my community. Like Jewel said, I'm a servant leader. I love helping and connecting the dots for people. Fun fact about me, when I launched this business, I was able to secure 2 5-figure sponsorship deals with Puma and Amazon within 3 months of stepping out on my own, which was a big deal to have these companies back my business. I'm not a social media influencer. I haven't been in business 20 plus years. I had just started the business and was able to get them to back what I was doing within 3 months with a sponsorship check. I would love to hear from some of you guys on the call to say like where you're from, what profession you're in, and maybe Jewel can read those off just so that I can know as I continue on the presentation.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So put that in the comments, where you're from, what city you're in, and what career are you in now?
Perfect. All right. As she does that, I'm going to go to the next slide. All right. So how did I know when to leave corporate America? I get asked that all the time. People are like, you had this good cushion 6-figure job, made great money. Like I said, I grew up there. I was a vice president, so I was an executive on Wall Street. But this is what helped me make my decision. So I'll start with this. God gave me the vision, y'all. I'm very spiritual. God told me one day, he was like, you're going to create a room where you're putting in your connections, which consisted of corporate executives that were VP level and above at these major corporations, from Delta, Coca-Cola, TikTok, all different firms that had a seat at the table to make decisions. And then I also knew a lot of amazing, influential people, successful entrepreneurs like Jewel and others that were doing their thing in the community. And I realized they needed each other. So God said, you're going to create a room called the Room Where the Deals Are Done, to bring them all in one space. And at each event, I interview a celebrity. So the first one I did in October when I launched, I interviewed Egypt Sherrod and Mike Jackson. They were on Married to Real Estate. They're big in the real estate game, similar to Jewel. And then the second one I interviewed I interviewed Yandy Smith Harris. The third one I interviewed Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. And this last one I interviewed Angela Yee. But at each of these events, we do networking bingo, where it forces you to talk to different people in the room. But I realized corporate executives need people like us that are out in the community talking about how good their products are. And then we need corporate executives for business funding, business acumen, different things to help us grow and scale our business. So that's what I do. I host events twice a year called In the Room Where the Deals Are Done. But I was able to make 6 figures in 6 months because I had those big sponsors backing my events.
You better, okay, wait a minute, girl. Hold on. We're not going to just run by that. 6 figures in 6 months. So that's a big deal. And by the way, we got Palm Beach, Florida on here, an accountant for the local government. Awesome. We got Kathy Kirkland, Texas. She's a trader and educator, a very good friend of mine. I make a lot of money with Kathy. Nice. And then we also got Trina Fitzgerald, the local accountant from Florida, Cameo Bobo, Nashville, Tennessee, talk show host, producer, Joan Antoine from Maryland. She owns an IT consulting company with her husband. So
nice.
The ones that are on here.
Awesome. Florida is deep on there. Okay. In Tennessee and DC. And I want to just share this with you guys. When I started my business, I started with the idea that God gave me, the event in the room, but it grew so fast, meaning that people were like, we want more from you. And so I was like, what does that mean? So I created a membership where people pay me monthly to hear from me and my friends that are doing their thing in their community. So Jewel is actually my next guest speaker on Monday to speak to my community, but I bring on people that have made it in business to give us the tips and tricks on how we can do it each month. And then in the community, we support each other. Then I also became an author because people were like, we need to hear your story. How did you even get on Wall Street from the inner cities of Newark, New Jersey? I'm the first person in my family to go to college, y'all. Right, Jewel. So now I'm the first person to go to college in my family. I also obtained an MBA with a 4.0 and then ended up on Wall Street for 21 years. So my story is very interesting, but I want to tell people the power of connection is so real. I have been so fortunate to meet people that have helped me get to the levels that I've gotten to and nourish those relationships. So I'll get into that more in the presentation, but I just want to say, make sure that you treat people right, do good business, and build your relationships. And then that's
good. I do want to say too, you guys keep, I know some people don't forget, drop your city that you live in and what is your profession. Okay, go ahead, Nicole.
Awesome. And so one, I made the 6 figures in 6 months. Then I had 3 successful sold out events with top influential people. As I mentioned, I had the 3 events with Egypt Sherrod and Mike Jackson, Yandy Smith Harris, and Dr. Eric Thomas, while I was still fully employed. The last one I did with Angela Yee, I was already a full-time entrepreneur. I had 2 big corporate sponsorships in the first 3 months, which was Puma and Amazon. And then this last event, I had Truist and Northwest Mutual sponsor my event. And then for the job, right, it was too many restrictions on my time. So because I launched out on entrepreneurship, God was blessing me and putting me on different stages. Jewel and I met in person. We spoke at a conference together. And so at that time, I'm supposed to be at work, but I had to take my vacation time to do these speaking engagements. So I was grateful for the speaking opportunities, but I also had a full-time job. And then I had to get approvals to speak at anything that I spoke at from my company. So I made the decision to say, you know what, the business is prospering very fast, because they say businesses take 5 years to really take off and you don't really make money in the first year. So my statistics were showing me different. I'm like, okay, God, you want me to do this full time? I'm going. So that's how I got there. But most people always ask me, what made you leave that cushy job? And I'm like, I feel like God has a bigger calling in my life and I can help more people doing this on my own. All right. So the value. So I love connecting people. Like I said, God gave me the vision to say you're going to create a room where the deals are done, and people always told me to write a book. And so those are how I built value in my business. How I started to make strides and gain revenue in my business, and like figuring out what people were calling me for, how to solve a problem. When you have a business, you need to figure out how to solve problems for others. That's what they pay you for. People pay you for your time and helping them solve a problem and making things easier for them. People always ask me, how do you figure out what business to start? Like, what do I do? Like, how do I know what to sell? I tell people these three things. What do you do what is something that you do that you love doing for free, right? Like if money wasn't an issue, what would you love doing? What do people call you for? This was the number one thing that helped me identify what my business was. People were always calling me for access to events, for connections to other people, information on being in finance for 21 years. My phone was always ringing with people calling me saying, can you help me with this? Can you connect me to that person? What event are you going to? That's what my business is all about, right? And so I started to put a price tag on that. What do I enjoy doing in my free time? On my first slide, I showed you, I love being a servant leader. I love helping people. I love connecting people. When people call me, I can think of somebody in 10 seconds that can help them with their problem if I can't do it myself.
It's true.
Right.
I know it to be true.
Yes. So it's like, and I always, like I said, people are always calling me, and I know so many people, so I'm always referring people, connecting people. So this is how I launched my business. But I want you guys in the chat to think about, or tell us, what is something you love doing for free? What are people calling you for? What do you enjoy doing with your free time? Like, those are the things that you can build your business around, right? Like, I'm sure Jewel loves real estate. I'm sure she loves teaching people. So these are things that she's built her business on. Here's the magic question. I get this asked all the time. How do you monetize your work? Like, how do you get people to pay you, right? Because again, you've been doing these things for free all the time. I've been connecting people for over 20 years and never received $1. I've gotten people millions of dollars, millions with an M, and never barely even received a thank you, right? But I love doing that. So it was something that I didn't think about. So now I'm like, wait, I got somebody at $500,000 one time and I barely received a thank you from them. So,
wow.
Right. And so it was like, okay, but God saw what I did. So he's going to bless me in other ways. But this is what I tell people. When people will call my phone now that I have a business, I say, I would love to help you with that. My price is this. Now, you see here, I wrote in red, 90% of people will say, okay, no, thank you, because you've been doing these things for free for so long. But that 10% will say, okay, yes, because they value you in your time. What I will say is when that 90% says no, thank you, that's your time that you get back, because you were going to do it for free anyway, right? Like when people call us for things, we just automatically get to doing it because we love doing it. We're experts at it, but that's your time that you're using. So when they say no, thank you, it's like, whoa, I got my hour back, right? But if the 10% that says yes and values your time, that's where you'll get paid for your expertise. And you decide what your price is. I will tell you a fun fact. So people will always call me and ask me for advice. Even like I said, when I made the corporate jump. So on my website, I put consulting fee. Anything that you are an expert in is a consultant fee, y'all. So start charging a consultant fee. When I first started out, it was $250, and somebody booked me to consult them on their business. And I was like, somebody's paying me for this advice that I just walk around with. I was so shocked with that, right? Now it's $1,000 because one, I'm an expert in financials. I've been in finance for 21 years. I successfully launched a business and made 6 figures in 6 months. I've grown a community, and all of these things, that's the value of my time. So if you're talking to me, I'm going to show you how to monetize, and then you get access to me and my network, which is priceless. So you determine your price, but that's what you say. I would love to help you with this, but my price is X, Y, and Z, and stand in your price.
Yeah, this is so important to listen to what she's saying right now. This is such good tea, because I believe that 2026 is a year that every single entrepreneur, and even some of you are in corporate, it's time to pivot. I really feel like wealth is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. And so making these tweaks and understanding your value and the value that you're adding to people is critical when you start talking about really scaling your business and scaling your brand. So yeah, that's good.
Yep. Thank you, Jewel. All right. So this is for my friends that are in corporate but don't know where to start a business. And this is the very basic steps. If the top 3 or 4 things that you need just to get your business started. Because again, I was full-time on Wall Street. I knew nothing about becoming an entrepreneur. I knew nothing about like building a business, right? Because when you work in corporate, they do everything for you. So the first thing you want to do is choose a powerful business name. My husband actually gave me my name. He gave me the name, the Master Connector on Instagram. He's like, you're always connecting people. You're like the Master Connector. And so that's where my business name came from, the Master Connector Agency. Once you pick a business name, you want to make sure that no one else has it, right? So you want to check all the different social media platforms. You want to check your state, Secretary of State's database, just to make sure nobody has that name. Because at some point when your business starts to take off, you want to make sure you trademark the name. I started my trademark last year. I'm still going through the trademark process because it's a long, tedious process, but you want to protect your assets. But again, make sure that, and you can ask ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT for help to play around with different names. Once you get the name of your business, you want to register it with GoDaddy. So GoDaddy is what you're also going to use to start your website, but you need to register the name on GoDaddy so that it can be a .com name for yourself, and then register your LLC. Now, the LLC is like how you're taxed, and you can do it. Most businesses are LLCs, right? Because that's the entry level point. S Corp is when you have shareholders, salaries, a bigger scale business, and then C Corp is the big one. It's scaling and venture capital funding. You also need to get an EIN number, which is your employee identification number, so that's how you get paid, and the government can track all your taxes. I have a membership community that I mentioned earlier that we help with every area of business. So in my community, we have people that are still in corporate, people that are full-time entrepreneurs. We support each other's businesses. I bring on experts every single month in different areas. Like I said, Jewel is my next guest on Monday, but I have experts that come on and teach us how to talk about trademarking, marketing, branding, the 10 keys to the 10 keys of areas of business funding. I'll get into that side in a minute. Credit repair, everything that I wish I knew or that I needed to know when I launched my business, I bring on an expert to teach us. Like I have a vast network, and I'm like, tell me what we need to know how to get to scale our business. Even social media, like AI, like that's a big thing right now. I had somebody come on talking to us about AI. So these are the 3 things you need to just get started to have your own business. And then the next one here is building a professional credibility. Set up that business email. Now, fun fact about this one, my business email was the masterconnectoragency@gmail.com. When you're talking to corporations, as I mentioned, I had Puma and Amazon and Northwest Mutual and Truist sponsor my business. I can't come to them with a Gmail email, right? So I had to make sure I had a professional email, which is info@yourcompaniesname.com. If you think about it, any business that you're sending emails to it, they're always a .com. So make sure that you have a professional email. I believe this service is free. I pay $7 a month for it because my team uses my email too at the .com. And then you want to get a virtual address and a virtual phone number. When I first launched my business, I used my house address. People were sending things to my house because I have a book, right? And I have t-shirts that I have one of my t-shirts on now. People buy it. They know where I live. And so I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing this wrong because somebody sent something to my house. I'm like, how do they know where I live? And I'm like, okay, you have to get a virtual address if you're selling products, right? Because you don't want everybody to know your home address, as well as a virtual phone number. So Google, this one is free. You do have to use it because if you don't use your Google phone number, they will close your account after a month or so. But these details help you look more professional, having a virtual business address, a virtual phone number, and having a .com email. Right. So I just can't stress those because I made these mistakes when I first launched my business, giving everybody my house address, using a Gmail email account, and my personal phone number. All right. So this is when you establish your digital presence online. If you're selling products or even any type of services, you want to have a website. So when you build your domain name on GoDaddy, you will use that to build your website. This is where you sell your products and services. On your website, you want to tell your story of why they should invest in your products. You want to have testimonials of people telling about your good products and services. I also tell people, when you do a good job and do good business, that's free marketing. Fun fact, but a quick story is my makeup artist is now a celebrity makeup artist. She did my makeup, and I went to an event with Yandy. Yandy loved my makeup so much, and I was like, my makeup artist is professional. Her prices are reasonable. She comes to you. She's on time. She does X, Y, and Z. Yandy then booked her. Yandy then went to an event with Quad. Then Quad then booked her. When I did my event with Angela Yee, I referred her. She did Angela Yee's makeup. I went to an event with Cynthia Bailey. Cynthia Bailey loved my makeup. She does hers now. So like I'm her free marketing tool, walking around with, with my, I don't have my makeup on now. I just have a little bit of lipstick on for you guys. But when I go out, if they love my makeup, I recommend her services. And now she's literally a celebrity makeup artist. Quad just took her with her to BravoCon. Like they fly her out now because she's does good business, shows up on time, and it's just reliable and does a great job. Her product is great. Also, you want to establish Zoom. So if you have meetings, so I have a membership. We meet a couple of times a month on Zoom. I have to pay for Zoom because it's over 45 minutes. It's free unless you use over 45 minutes. Calendar Lily, when you want people to book consultations with you, that's a free service. I use Mighty Networks for my community. And funnels. So funnels are different ways you can gain sales. So funnels are things you attract people to your business, and you can up and down sell them to different products. And then automation. Automate as much as you can because your time is valuable, right? So you might have to hire a tech person, or unless you're tech savvy. I'm not tech savvy, but I have a tech person on my team. But again, in my membership, we teach you all these different things on how to grow your business the right way and all these different tools that you can use. This one here is very important too, securing business funding. So when you start a business, right, most businesses start in the red because running businesses cost a lot of money. That's something that I learned. I did not know how much money it costs to run a business when I started, y'all. I'm like, wait, I got to pay for Zoom. I got to pay for Mighty Networks, which is where my community communicates. I pay $147 a month for that. For Microsoft applications, $100 a month for that. For different things, it costs money to make money, and you want to do things properly. When you set up your LLC, you have to pay the Secretary of State. In Georgia, it's $100 for the year. Every state has different pricing, but you don't want to just rely on your savings, right? Because savings goes fast. You want to tap into grants, 0% interest business credit cards, or if you have somebody that wants to invest in your business when you start. Be careful when people do invest in your business because they want a percentage of your business, right? So if you're not ready to give a percentage of your business up, then I wouldn't do the investor route. I started my business with the 0% interest-free credit cards. I started off with Amex because I've been with Amex for decades, and then I went on to Chase. So they both were 0 free interest. For some of them are 12 to 21 months. I do want to notate your personal credit is important in this. They check your personal credit when you're looking for business funding. And when your business is new, if you put $0 and make $0, it might be hard to get it. So I had already started making money in my business. I think when I did the first one, I think I was around 50K. So that's how I was able to get a decent amount in business, 0% interest credit cards. You want to pay them off before that interest starts to hit. But these are different ways to secure funding for your business because, again, it costs a lot of money to run your business. And then here's like the breakdown. It's less than $300 to get a business started. As I mentioned, your domain name could be anywhere between $1, I put 10 here, to $100. It depends on what your name is, but you search on GoDaddy for your domain name. I just put $50 as a midpoint. Registering your LLC with the state is $100 for here in Georgia. You're getting your EIN number, your employee identification number with the government. Your business email, I pay $7 because, again, I have people on my team that use my email. My website is $100 a month, on which you could pay $75 to $150. Zoom is free or $10 because I go over 45 minutes. Calendar Lily is free. Your virtual phone number is free. And your virtual address, I pay $10 through iPortal. But all of this is under $300 to get your business started. The LLC and your LLC is a once a year payment. So it goes less than that. It's less than $200 for after your first one. It's once a year, but your website is monthly payments and anything that you need to build out your business. The extras at the bottom, like I put funnels here. I pay $100 a month for my funnel. The trademark, that's an expensive one. So I tell people to get that when you can afford it. It's about $1,600 I pay to get my business trademark, and I'm still going through the process. Different systems, like I said, I use Mighty Networks. That's $150 a month. Marketing and ads. So you want to find people that don't know you to sell your products to, right? To help support your business. So you might want to start running ads. You can do anything as from $5 a day or up to $20, depending on how many ads you want to run. And if you have to hire team members. So I have 4 team members on my team right now for my business. And again, my business just hit a year old, October 24th of 2020.
Yay! Woo! You did it, girl. You did it.
I got to get to the 5-year mark because I always say, like, that's when you know if your business is sustainable, you get to 5-year. But I just hit a year in October. I celebrated my 1-year anniversary. It's and just being transparent, it's up and down days, right? Because When I left my corporate job in July, when August came and my mortgage hit, I was like, ooh, I don't have that corporate check sitting there. Like, wait a minute. Let me go get a job. And God said, no, you can't get a job. I removed you from corporate America so I can prosper this business so you can help the masses. I have freedom with my time, freedom to do what I want, say what I want. When you're still in corporate America, there's a lot of restrictions on your time and what you can and cannot do. And so I love the freedom. I miss the job security. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love that consistent every 2-week check, the benefits, the insurance, all those things. But I know I'm making a bigger impact in my business doing it this way. So hopefully these things that I've taught you guys was helpful so far. I always give everybody call to actions. You need people to support your business, right? You need a network to help your business grow. These are the 3 different things that I tell people if they want quick hits to grow their network. So 1, this is my book that I talked about. I give all the networking tips in here, how to grow your network. Again, when you're an entrepreneur, you're selling your products on a daily basis. You need a network to sell them to, right? I'll give you three tips that I talk about in my book, which are to grow your network. The top 3 things you need to do is 1, make sure you're doing good business, right? I talked about that earlier. Doing a good job when you get the opportunity, right? Knocking it out the park. Following up. When you meet people, I don't know if you guys on here go to conferences, but when you meet people, we forget to follow up with them. There's so much money in the follow-up, but sometimes people don't follow up. And the number 1 rule that I tell people is lead with how you can help somebody. You don't understand how many times, even myself, I'm out with so many different high-profile people, and people are coming up to them saying, can you help me with this? Can you help me with my business? Can you put me on your show? Can you do this? And the person doesn't even know them, right? But they're already leading with an ask. You need to lead with how you can help them before you need to ask. So if you go up to somebody and say, oh, it was a pleasure meeting you. What are you working on for 2026? In your mind, you automatically think about how you can help them with what they're working on for 2026. That's going to set you apart from the other 90% of people that have just met them and said, hey, I need help with this, right? So leading with value first before you have an ask. That is going to set you apart and help you grow your network faster than the majority of people. And then, so this pink circle is how you can purchase my book if you're interested on the different networking tips that I use to get me from Newark, New Jersey, all the way to Wall Street, and the relationships that I built along the way, the celebrities that I've met, how I've nurtured those relationships, how they've helped me, how I've helped them, all in the book. Cynthia Bailey, Egypt Sherrod, all of them have wrote quotes in the book. Angela Yee wrote the foreword to my book on how I've helped her, received a lot of funding and different business deals along the way. This here, right here, this white circle is my community. If you guys are interested in joining, the community is great. It's for corporate executives, industry leaders, and entrepreneurs. We're in there helping each other every single day. I bring on experts every single month to talk to you about different areas of business, how to grow your business, how to scale your business. We support each other's. When somebody in the community is having something, we all show up and support them. We do happy hours together. I take them to dinner once a year because I'm big on breaking bread to break barriers. There's something about having a meal with people that helps them breaks down their guard a little bit. So I treat my members to a fancy dinner once a year, get to know them better, they get to know me better, and we just go around and share our stories and figure out how we can help each other grow. We do goal setting. We just did our goal setting at the end of December for 2026. I keep them accountable. They get access to my in-person events at a discounted rate that the public doesn't get. They get a discount to come. But it's just a great community. Like I said, if you're trying to grow and scale your network, grow and scale your business, you want to be a part of this community. This last QR code doesn't work. I had this up here because the next event that I did was the one with Angela Yee, the In the Room networking event. So I was telling people, you want to come and be in this room. Jewel came to this last event that I had, but that's what this was. Thank you so much. So many people made so many great connections. People have told me, y'all, that my events and my community has changed their life. I'll tell you really quickly. I was, my friend Egypt was speaking at a panel. I went to visit her. I had just left corporate America, so I wasn't feeling myself, y'all. Being transparent, I felt like I lost my identity when I left corporate America after 21 years. That's all I've known. That's where I grew up. And I was like, I'm going to pull myself together. I'm going to go to support my friend Egypt. She's on this panel. She gets off the panel and she's like, you don't look like yourself. And I'm like, what do you mean? I pulled myself together. And she's like, your energy, because I'm very high energy, very positive. And I was like, oh, well, I just left corporate America. And she didn't know. I didn't tell my friends at that point. I was only 2 weeks out. And she's like, I'm taking you to lunch. We went to lunch. And at lunch, a young woman approaches us. And the lady goes, I know you. And I thought she was talking to Egypt because she's a celebrity of the two of us. And she's like, no, I know you. And she was talking to me. And I said, you know me? And she said, yeah. She's like, I came to your event. She came to the event that I did actually with Egypt. And she said, your event changed my life. Changed my life is some powerful words, right, Jewel? I'm like, changed your life.
Girl.
Yeah. And I said, what do you mean? Like, tell me how it changed your life. She said, I'm working on a $2 million real estate project in Tennessee. And I met a guy at your event that does government contracts. And this government contract, he helped me get over the hump that I was dealing with in Tennessee with my government contract on my $2 million project. And it literally changed my life. I said, oh my God, I needed to hear that God, like that was the energy I needed to keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going full time in this business. I'm changing people's lives. There's another guy that heard me on Angela Lee's radio station in New York. He said he tuned in. He joined my community. He's a public speaker. He said he charges $500 to speak. One of the experts in my community that came on and talked to us about how to get booked to be a public speaker said, you need to put a zero on the back of that $500. He said, what? You're going to run my customers away. She said, no, your story is valuable. You need $5,000. Do you know he got booked the next month to speak in California? Right. They paid him $4,000 to fly to California. The other $1,000 went towards his food, his hotel, and his flight. Wow. They paid him $4,000. He said, Nicole, I got my credit fixed because we do credit repair in my community. I got my credit fixed. I got $5,000. You helped me with my confidence. And now they're booking him to speak in different places. But just little tips like that. I'm like, this community right here, y'all want to be a part of it because, again, it's changing lives and we're building around you to help you grow your network, to assist you grow your net worth. And then one of the last slides, this is how you can find me. So I'm on this is my Instagram, the master_connector. This is my website, the masterconnectoragency.com. Remember I told you about getting that.com. So masterconnectoragency.com. You can email me. Here's the info at the masterconnectoragency.com. And then I'm based in Atlanta. I'm from New Jersey, but I live in Atlanta now. This blue QR code right here will take you straight to my Instagram if you're interested in following me on Instagram to learn more about the different events that I have coming up, what I'm doing in the community, and how I'm helping people. And that is it. And so just thank you. I can take questions now. If guys have any questions for me, this QR code is just a survey. So you guys don't have to fill it out if you want. So I always like to make sure that I'm giving people what they need. So the survey helps me narrow down and make sure that I'm helping and giving back and answering questions or making this more impactful. So I'm going to stop sharing now because that was a presentation, but
that was so good. That was so good. You know, you made a lot of pivots. You made a lot of changes, still making a lot of changes. And I just, my prayer is that as people were listening to know wherever they are in their life, like it's possible, you just got to keep at it. And it's almost like you're developing new disciplines. She had to unlearn some things, relearn some things, but really that's good because that's what's happening in the world today. Everything is changing. I mean, people that are not willing to become full-time students are really going to be in trouble. And your networking events, child, they everything. Okay. They're everything. I love them. They're so good. And I mean, so much value is in that room. Like you said, if this person doesn't have your answer, somebody else is going to have your answer. So I really do want to encourage you guys to make sure you follow her. And then some of you are like, hey, you know what? I need to join that community because that's exactly where I am. I gotta pivot myself right up out of here. So Nicole, thanks so much for jumping on. If anybody has any questions in the comments, go ahead and drop your comments. Otherwise, I know those barcodes were up. I know you guys scan that information so you can stay in touch with her and continue to follow her where she is. I do want to ask you this one last question. Sure. You talked about making 6 months. In 6 months, you did $100,000 in sponsorships.
I made over six figures in 6 months. And so sponsorships helped me get to that number faster. So it wasn't just sponsorships solely. But sponsorships was a big chunk of that helped me get.
Big chunk of it. It was a big chunk of that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's so many companies out there. That's what they're looking for. They're looking to, people are saying it was good information. Thanks, Jessica. I mean, that's what people are doing. They're looking for brands to partner with, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Fifth Third Bank, whether it's Comerica. These companies are looking for your company, your brand, what you have to do. And Nicole, that's one of her areas of specialty where she really does know how to connect you. You know what I'm saying? She knows how to connect you. So this was good. Any last things you want to give them before we get ready to wrap?
Yeah. So somebody said about, I don't know, it was a new business. What do you mean? I think that was because she's saying like, she didn't know that I just started the business. I don't understand her question. Walker Crystal. And yeah, so and you're right, the sponsorship piece of it. So how I was able to get to 6 figures in 6 months was I had these major corporations sponsor my business. I was the head of national sponsorships at JP Morgan for the last 5 years of my business. And so that means I had a budget from them that I would put out in the community to help communities close the racial wealth gap. So I knew what it took to get corporate sponsorship. So when I did my own business, I'm like, I know how to speak the language. I know how to create sponsorship decks. If anybody's looking for corporate dollars, you have to have a sponsorship deck just to begin. I'm actually teaching a free class. If you follow me on Instagram, my free class is in my bio, but I'm teaching a free class on corporate sponsorships as well. People pay me 5 figures to teach them how to get corporate sponsorships. And so I'm teaching a free class on that, actually on the January 7th. So if you're interested, that'll be another free class that I teach on how to get corporate dollars. And then I'm launching a cohort where I will walk you through step by step of what you need to do to get corporate funding for your business, corporate dollars for your businesses. But so that's one thing. But yeah, like I said, like me getting Amazon. So all you need is one big corporate sponsor to back you, because once you get that one big one, the other ones fall in line. So the fact that I got Amazon out the gate to sponsor me, then I'm like, right, exactly. That's like
girl.
Figures, yeah. To sponsor me, then I'm like, okay, Puma, well, Amazon sponsor me, what are you doing? Then Puma came along. Now I have Truist, which is a big bank in the South. And then now I have Northwest Mutual, right? So you grow it that way, but I teach you how to get that first corporate sponsor. Sometimes it might be another small business sponsoring you just to get your feet wet, but it's still, I teach you how to get those corporate dollars. Yeah, I would love to take questions. Thank you, Jessica.
A couple people said they signed up, so that's cool. So yeah, does anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, drop those in the comments. Otherwise, I know you're following her, so I'm really, really excited about that, because this is definitely the time to like really hone in, put the disciplines in, put the commitment in. That's one thing about success. You can't just be like, oh, I want to be successful, baby. You got to put the discipline in. You have to put the commitment in. You got to have the right relationships. Like that stuff is so vitally important, because it's really going to set you up to have success, to be in those rooms, right? Yes. You can't just grow your business sitting on the couch watching Netflix. No.
Right. And I tell people, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Like, it's so important, because the tickets to my in-person events are anywhere between $150 to $350, depending on, what level you want to come in at. And I tell people, get the VIP ticket, because in the VIP room, that's where the deals are happening, because the other people are paying the $350 to be in that room with you, right? And so invest in yourself. Like, we spend money on all kind of random things, but it's like, you want to invest in yourself to make yourself better, to make your business better, to grow your network. Like you say, you can't sit home and think you're just going to grow your business. I got to get more comfortable of talking online about all the things that I offer. It's uncomfortable for me, but people don't know what my products are, or how I'm helping the community, or how I'm helping people get corporate sponsorships or business funding. How will they know, right? And so it's like, I'm pushing myself out of my own comfort zone. Being a full-time entrepreneur after 21 years watching is a comfort zone I was not ready for, but I'm like, God is ordering my steps. This is where he sees me. This is where he wants me. And every day I grow the business and I work at it. I worked on that presentation last night to show you guys, right? Like, everything takes work, but you have to invest in yourself, put the time and energy into doing it.
Yeah, that's so good. You got to be able to do that. People are saying congratulations. They're following you. So I'm really excited about that. Nicole, thanks so much for jumping on here, girl. I really appreciate you. And again, very proud of you. 2026 will definitely be a year that we make history in a lot of different areas. So I'm excited to have you guys that joined us today to be a part of that. So listen, thanks again for jumping on, Nicole. I appreciate you, girl. And I know we'll be talking Monday, because I'll be on with you.
Yeah. So Jewel, and that's another thing I want to say too, like, support your friends, right? Like, Jewel supporting me, letting me talk to her community. She's coming on to talk to my community, right? And so it's like, support your friends, show up for them, provide information. Like, that is very important. That's how you're going to get to the next level, through community. So thank you, Jewel, again, for the opportunity to speak to your community, be on your platform. I'm here. If you guys have any questions, you can DM me. I'm the Master _Connector on Instagram. Shoot me an email, follow my website. Like, again, if you have any questions, but I want to see all of us grow and prosper. 2026, here we come.
That's it. All right, you guys. All right. God bless everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.